So what's happened so far with universal credit? Well, back in April, we saw changes to housing benefit, the under occupancy reduction, commonly known as the bedroom tax, which reduces social housing tenants' housing benefit if they're deemed to have spare bedrooms. We've already seen the implications of that to many of our customers from April. Also in April, council tax benefit was replaced by council tax support.
And Tracy, is this different for our customers that live in Hounslow Borough or Richmond Borough?
Yeah, unlike housing benefit, which were the same across the board up and down the country, council tax benefit is deemed by local authority, so every local authority has made its own slight rules on that.
Okay.
So customers in our Hounslow ward will be affected differently to those in Richmond. And that may change again in April, because each year the councils can change the plan slightly.
Okay.
There's also been a change in non-dependent allowances. They've increased. So basically, if you've got, for example, a grown-up child living with you who's working, but the parents are on housing benefits, the amount of housing benefit they get will be decreased more because the allowance has increased, if that makes sense. Also, since April, in June, the start of disability living allowance being gradually replaced by personal independence payments. So if you're currently already on disability living allowance, DLA, you will get written to in due course over the next couple of years to be invited to apply for PIPs.
So our customers, they don't need to do anything until they get the letter?
No, exactly. They won't need to do anything until they get the letter.
And that's from the DWP? That
will come from the DWP. If customers choose to ignore the letter and not apply for personal independence allowance once they've got that personal independence payments, once they've got the letter, the DLA will stop. So it's not an automatic transition from one to the other. So when you get your letter, if you want to continue getting that payment, you need to basically reapply. And that affects people aged 16 to 64. So for children on DLA, there'll be no change, and for pensioners.
And is that an application people need to fill in?
Yeah, there'll be a letter that they get, and the first thing to do will be to phone up, make a phone call with their basic information, and then they'll get the forms sent to them.
Okay, so look out for that letter.
Yeah. In July and August, depending on which borough you live in, the benefit cap has started to be introduced. That started on the 15th of July for Richmond, over a 5-week period, and started a bit later, 12th of August for Hounslow. And that means that people who are out of work, the cap on the amount of benefit they can receive is £500 limit for families or couples, and £350 limit for single people.
And that is per week, per month?
That's per week, okay. And that includes the housing benefit. So that's a total of all the main out of work benefits and child benefit that people receive.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been contacting customers directly of ours who are affected by that cap, and I've been doing home visits to many of our customers.
So about how many of our customers are affected?
In total, we've only got about 15 customers, relatively small, because most people generally affected by the cap live in private rented accommodation where the housing benefit is very high, and that easily takes them over the cap. So I've worked with the Richmond Council to do home visits. We probably, if you're one of the families affected, you will know because you would have had a letter from the DWP.
Okay.
So if I haven't met you at home already, then I knocked on your door last week, you were out, I'm on my way back next week. The main thing I'd like to talk to today is the thing that's coming up next, which is universal credit. And just to explain a bit about that, it's going to gradually be phased in over the next 4 years. We don't know yet when Richmond Borough or Hounslow Borough will be affected. It's going to replace 6 existing benefits, which is the income-based job seekers allowance, income-related employment support allowance, income support, working tax credits, child tax credits and housing benefit. So once customers go over to universal credit, those 6 benefits will disappear and you'll get one combined payment called universal credit. Now the reason that is so important is that to get universal credit, claims need to be made online. It's online by default for about 80% of claimants. So really you need to start thinking now about, do you have internet access? Do you know where your nearest internet access is? We do have computers here at RHP offices in reception. People are free to use.
Yeah, and also, guys, if you are able to use the computers in our offices, for example, and you search UK online centres, you can find out where there is one right near you. So there's libraries, there's community centres around the borough. So if you do search UK online centres, you'll be able to find somewhere near you that has available internet access.
Right. One thing that RHP will be doing from now on is to start collecting your email addresses. It's a great way to communicate. If you're listening to this live, then you've got computer access already. It just gives us a measure of how many of our customers don't have internet access and may need extra help and support. So you will find when you contact us for various things, we will ask for your email address. Another different thing about universal credit is it's going to be paid monthly in arrears. So at the moment, many of the benefits that I've already mentioned get paid fortnightly or 4-weekly. So this is going to be paid monthly, a calendar month in arrears. So customers need to start thinking now about budgeting differently, making the money stretch for a whole month. The government's incentive for this, the idea around this, is that it replicates a working salary so that people get used to budgeting in that way. But it is even the best budgeters that are used to budgeting weekly or fortnightly, it's going to be different. And it will take some getting used to.
It is a big change, isn't it?
It is, especially the first month. So when the first month you go from your current benefits onto universal credit, you'll probably wait about 5 weeks for your first month's payment. So you'll already be a week behind, as it were. And remember that that money is one bulk income that will include your housing benefit. And that brings us on to the third point, really, that the money that you get, the universal credit, will be paid into a bank account. So first things first, do you have a bank account? And is it one that's got a facility to set up direct debits? So that'll make budgeting easier, so you can set up direct debits for your rent, for your heating, electric, etc., to help you budget.
And that way people know how much is going out of their account each month and on what date.
Exactly, and on what date. And in theory you'll get paid on any day of the month. So if you made your claim on the 1st of the month, you'll get paid 5 weeks later, so probably the 8th of the following month, and then you'll always get paid on the 8th.
Yeah.
And likewise, you could make your claim on the 30th of the month and then always get paid on the 30th. So everyone's going to be paid on a different day of the month. And
can customers do anything to reduce that 5-week potential waiting period that they might have to wait? Is it register earlier? Can they do that?
You can't register earlier until universal credit comes in our area for your type of claim. So it may be that even when it comes to Richmond, it's just for certain claimants to start with. People will be notified. I think the best advice I can give is to start perhaps putting £1 or £2 away a week now to help when it comes to you that you've already got a bit of a buffer. Again, because not all of our customers have a bank account, we need to know who needs help and support doing that. So again, when you contact RHP, we will ask you, do you have a bank account? Does it have facility for direct debit? Things like post office accounts will take your money in but doesn't have any direct debit facility and won't allow you to pay other monies in that you may get, for example, if you work part-time. So it just really makes it easier. Now, most banks offer free basic banking service. So if you haven't got a bank account already, it should be quite easy to open a basic account. What you do need with many accounts is ID, so something that proves your address that's not more than 3 months old. So a rent letter will be great, a utility bill, anything like that. Banks are often asking now for some photo ID. So that's usually a copy of a current passport or a current driving licence. Now, if you don't have a passport or a driving licence, we have been contacting many banks, and Barclays in particular have offered that if our tenants try to open an account without photo ID, they will take a letter from us as proof to mitigate that.
Because getting IDs can be expensive, can't it?
Exactly. If you're getting a passport or driving licence purely to open a bank account, then it's a very expensive way to do it.
It really is.
Yeah. The other thing to think about that's different is that universal credit will be paid to one household member. So if, for example, Jay and I are here, if we were a couple both on job seekers allowance...
I think you should get that, Tracy.
Yeah, at the moment we'd both get our job seekers allowance, and I'd get possibly child benefit and Jay would get a different benefit, but it will be paid into one household member. So between us we need to nominate who we want to get paid the whole household budget, perhaps who's best with the money, who's best at budgeting. You need to think about how that works for your family and who's best to get the money. The government have announced that in extreme situations they will split the money, but that will be the exception rather than the rule. So really, to recap, universal credit's coming. We don't know when, but everyone in the country will be on it by 2017, according to the government. So what you can do to prepare already is make sure that you've got a bank account that you can take the money and get direct debits paid out for things like your rent, because you will get the full rent money once you go into universal credit. If you're on housing benefit and it's currently paid directly to us, that will change. Decide which household member you want to have it. Start planning a bit ahead for that first month in arrears, and think about how you're going to make your online claim. Now that all sounds daunting, but actually the best way to avoid the changes completely is to not be on benefits and to be into employment. And that's where RHP have really been helping our customers. So Jay, can you tell us more about what RHP have been doing?
Certainly. So yeah, we know welfare reform is a big issue for some of our customers, and Tracy's been working hard to find out which customers are affected by welfare reform. But as Tracy said, one of the best ways to avoid being affected by welfare reform is to get employed and get a job. RHP have a huge commitment to getting our customers into work or training, and over the next 5 years we want to get 500 customers into work or training. And as I said, having a job is the best way to avoid being affected by welfare reform. So we've started off using the data from our profiling survey that we did last year. We proactively contacted customers who told us they were unemployed and told us they'd like help from us in finding the job, and that's about 300 customers in total. And what we've offered them is access to our job clubs. So this is one of the things we're doing to help customers. So our job clubs, as you can see on the screen, they're every Tuesday. There's one at the Ham Youth Centre, and that'll return on the 10th of September 2013, so that'll be between 10 and 12 p.m. And then our Castle Now Job Club runs between 1 and 3 on Tuesdays, and that's currently running. So if you'd like to go to that, just get in touch with us. Alan is our employment consultant. He runs them with the support of my team, the community engagement team, and Alan's the friendliest guy you could meet. He's created a really friendly atmosphere, supportive atmosphere for customers to come in, get support with their CV, with interview skills, anything from confidence building to getting your job. Alan covers it. We have on average, we have 6 customers come to the Ham Job Club, and about 7 come to the Castle Now one. And if you just come to one, see if it's for you, I'm sure you'll definitely come back.
So how successful has it been, Jay? How many people have we helped back into work?
So since April, we've helped 12 customers back into work. April to June, we call that quarter one. We've helped 12 customers back into work. And in total, we've helped 36 customers into work and training.
So what other training then do you offer?
We offer a whole host of trainings. We offer beauty, accredited beauty training. So at Dean Road in Hampton, we've got a beauty academy that opened in April, and we do accredited hair and beauty trainings. So we've had 6 customers complete hairdressing qualifications, accredited hairdressing qualifications, and we have 18 customers complete accredited nail technology qualifications, and these qualifications are just fantastic for customers who might not know what they want to do. They've had a taste of what it's all about being in the sort of the beauty industry, and now they've got accredited qualifications, and the guys that completed the nail tech qualifications, they can either start their own nail technology business and create income that way, or one of the ladies that did the course, she already had a beauty company that she was just getting off the ground, and now she can offer nail technology with that, and so she can supplement her income that way. Other trainings we regularly do first aid trainings at our community centres around the borough. We do food hygiene, and we do any training really that may be a day, that'll take a day, but will really look fantastic on your CV when prospective employers are looking at that.
That sounds really good. So what other employment and support are we offering?
We have our One event. You may have heard of that. We're going into our 3rd year with that now. It's an annual event that happens in October. This year, 3rd of October at York House, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever before. We've worked really closely with the Job Centre Plus on this one. We've worked really closely with Heathrow Academy. For if you want any job at Heathrow, you need to go to Heathrow Academy first for a period of time before you're allowed to work at the airport. We're working with big high street names, care providers. As I said, it's going to be bigger and better than ever. There's going to be 100 live jobs available for customers to apply for on the day. So you can actually come on the day and apply for one of these jobs if it's what you're looking for. And yeah, bigger and better than ever, 3rd of October.
That sounds brilliant. What if I want something a bit more local?
A bit more local, we've got that too, Tracy. Our WOW events, which were inspired by the One event. So we knew the One event is in Twickenham, and we know not all customers can get over to Twickenham. So the WOW event, we've tried to create the One event feel on estates. So WOW, standing for Wellbeing, Opportunities and Work, it gets the job centre. So we work with the job centre closely again, but we also work with various support agencies. So we work with the CAB, NHS Quit Smoking, volunteering services, anything that will be of use to customers. We have big names there too. We have British Gas there. We had Asda. We've held 2 so far. We've had one in Castle now in March, and then we followed that up with one in May on our Hounslow Heath estate. And really what I like about the WOW events is they're an interactive day. So we have demonstrations going on. We have healthy cooking demonstrations. We have sewing demonstrations. We have gardening demonstrations. And really the whole ethos of the day is to demonstrate to customers there are sort of shortcuts they can take that will really save them money if we reduce leftovers, if we sort of maybe plant a few vegetables ourselves, if we quit smoking. There are ways we can save money and also potentially get a job at the same time. So
if customers have missed the first 2, shame on you, but when's the next one?
The next one is coming up quite soon actually. It's in September 16th at Ham Youth Centre. So again, really interactive day. Something I didn't mention, which happened at the last 2, is we also have a job workshop. So Alan, our job employment consultant, he comes down and runs a job workshop. So if you are thinking of going to one of our job clubs, it might be a good chance for you to come down, meet Alan, see what he's about, see what he can offer you in terms of getting yourself a job, and take it from there. And then if you think it's for you, come along to our job clubs.
That sounds brilliant for a lot of our tenants. What about young people? Are we doing anything specifically for them?
Well, supporting young people is a big part of the strategy of my team. So again, my team is community engagement, and equipping young people for the future is a core strategy of ours. So just in the office, we offer work placements and work experience for young people looking for work. So just since April, we've had 3 volunteers in the office. We currently have 5 apprentices doing various admin roles in the office. In total, we've had 8, and we get apprentices through Way to Work at Richmond Council. So again, we work closely with our partners to get apprentices. And we do a lot of our stuff for the young people through Urban Academy. So really, Urban Academy, it was established 7 years ago as a sports program. So it was mainly football, rugby, stuff like that, just to get the kids involved. We've slowly developed it. We knew sort of football might exclude some girls, not necessarily, but potentially. So now we do street dance, we do art projects, and we use that as the hook to get young people involved. And then we go on to doing homework clubs, CV workshops, just so when young people reach 16, 17, they're not left sort of with nowhere to go in terms of not being job ready. So we really try to get our young people to be job ready.
So that sounds great. So how many kids attend that?
So we've got currently 600 young people across the borough and people into Hounslow too signed up, and so we've got that audience, and we really just want to work with our young people to give them the sort of the best start once their education is finished.
And how many activities go on at any time?
So up to 4 or 5 a week around various estates. What I'd ask you to do is sort of, if you want to know more about what Urban Academy offers young people, is to get in touch with us. Our contact details will be up on the screen in a minute. But yeah, if you've got a young person who's not quite sure what they want to do, tell them to, or on their behalf, get in touch with us.
Sounds great. What else do we do?
So new for this year is the Duke of Edinburgh Awards scheme, which I'm a big fan of, because a lot of the qualifications young people get nowadays are very academic, very, sit in a classroom, whereas the Duke of Edinburgh is made up of in 3 aspects. So young people must complete a skill, a stint of volunteering, and a physical aspect. And then at the end of that, they do an expedition where they go out into the wilds, well, maybe not the wilds, but the countryside, and must navigate through the countryside unsupervised. And what I really like about Duke of Edinburgh is it gives young people sort of the life skills they're going to need, to succeed. So it gives them leadership skills, it gives them teamwork, and it really sort of makes it forces them really to motivate themselves. So I'll give you a few examples of what people can do with that. So, for example, with the physical, they can take up a sport they've never tried before. So a lot of people, we had one young lad take up hockey. They can, with the volunteering, they can work in a charity shop or volunteer at one of our retirement schemes or do an estate clean-up with us. And for the skill, they could take up a musical instrument. And then for the expedition, they'll work with us closely. So we'll teach them map reading, compass reading, how to use a compass and things like that. And then, they do a practice, and then they do an assessed expedition where they go off into the countryside. That
sounds brilliant. Thinking of the cash-strapped parents being affected by welfare reform, how much is all this going to cost?
Well, I mean, that's the great thing. We will do a bit of an assessment on the household income, but it's likely that we will cover costs to help get our young people through this award, because it is such a fantastic award for young people to have, and it boosts their prospects of employment. If an employer sees Duke of Edinburgh on their CV, they know what's involved with Duke of Edinburgh, and they know what the young people's done to achieve that award.
That sounds brilliant. Well, I think you'll agree we're doing lots of things to help customers back into work, into employment. Obviously, time constraints mean we can't go into lots of detail about everything we're doing, but our contact details are up on the screen now, so if there's anything that we haven't mentioned that you'd like us to start doing, or if you'd like to know more about anything we've mentioned, our contact details are on the screen.
And what I would say finally is like Tracy said, we have just given you a sort of whistle-stop tour of what we do. And if you've got any ideas for what we could offer or what you'd like to see us offer, just get in touch with us. Just because we haven't mentioned it here doesn't mean we don't offer it. Get in touch with us, have a chat, and we'll see how we can help you. You know. So if Tracy's got nothing to add.
No.
It's goodbye. No, actually, no, it's not. We'll give you a couple of seconds to ask any questions first. Sorry about that. Okay, we have one question about the job club. The customer's asked, what can they talk to Alan before? Yeah, you can definitely speak to Alan before the job club. He like I said, he's readily available. If you get in touch with us, I can pass on his number. I can pass his number on to you, and you can give him a call. That's not a problem.
That's great. And for customers affected by the benefit cap, as I said earlier, you will know if you're affected. You would have had letters from the Department of Work and Pensions from going back last year, and your local council, be it Richmond or Hounslow, would have contacted you, and I have phoned almost everybody I think that's affected and then given one-on-one support to follow up on that.
Great. Okay, guys, I'll just put mine and Tracy's contact details up once more. And again, if you have any questions or comments, get in touch with one of us and we'll get back to you straight away. Okay, guys, thank you for logging in today. This will be up on our website and on YouTube shortly, so stay tuned for that.